Premier League history. Could Mikel Arteta, though, add more depth? Let's find out and speak to our reporter, Dharmesh, who's keeping warm in North London. Dharmesh, a very good morning to you. What do we think then? Will Arteta be tempted to push for a few signings to help bolster those Premier League title chances?
Yeah, morning, Will. Mikel Arteta has been asked the question in previous news conferences. He said, we are Arsenal. We will keep our eyes open. I only think they will go into the market if a unique market opportunity was to present itself, or a long-term target suddenly became available. But even then, you've got to realise their squad is so good, as you mentioned before, that there's at least 2 players in each position. Mikel Arteta is having to leave out certain players from his 20-man squad, let alone his first 11. And if you look at January, Arsenal, like many other clubs, go into a summer transfer window and they don't think, let's go big in January. That's never the approach. And the last time they actually did any kind of key business in a January transfer window, you have to go back to January 2023. That's 3 years ago, when Leandro Trossard, Jakub Kiwior and Jorginho all joined the club. So you'd have to say at this stage, it looks like it's going to be a quiet window for Arsenal. But as you say, you never know. And with what Mikel Arteta has been saying in news conferences, and I'm sure he'll be asked the question again this morning, he says that we are always alert to any opportunity.
Yeah, and look, it was a good result, wasn't it, last night for Arsenal, with Manchester City, Dharmesh, drawing up at Sunderland. A 4-point lead, a new year for Mikel Arteta and his side, and they'll want to pick up exactly where they left off in 25.
Oh, 100%, and I'm sure they really enjoyed Manchester City dropping points at the Stadium of Light last night. But as far as Arsenal are concerned, what a way to end 2025 with that statement victory over Aston Villa by 4-1 at the Emirates. And look, the games are coming thick and fast, though, aren't they? They've got Bournemouth tomorrow. It will be their 5th game in 15 days. I know every other club has got that problem as well with this fixture schedule, but Arsenal's season so far, even though they are top, has been blighted by injuries. But you get the impression that they are moving closer to a fully fit squad. You'll know that Kai Havertz returned to the squad against Aston Villa for the first time since the opening day of the season. Gabriel Jesus scored his first goal for Arsenal since New Year's Day in 2025. There are a few other injury issues that Arsenal have got in the form of Christian Mosquera, Ricardo Calafiori, and of course Declan Rice, who missed that game against Aston Villa. They should be on the mend and returning very, very soon. Let's see if the Bournemouth game is too soon, but I'm sure Mikel Arteta normally keeps his cards close to his chest, but we will ask him if there are any updates on those players. He's addressing the media, Will, at around 9:30 this morning. We'll bring you the best of that right here on Sky Sports News. And of course, Bournemouth against Arsenal is the live Saturday night football coverage. Gets underway on Sky Sports Premier League tomorrow from around 5 p.m.
Dharmesh, cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Mr. Dan Gosling. So look, Arsenal are in a great position. They've got a deep squad that has been doing the business. If you're Mikel Arteta, do you stick with what you've got, or do you try and bring something in Jan?
Really difficult. Dharmesh said if a unique opportunity came along, then they'll be there, like every top club should be. Semenyo is a unique opportunity, I believe.
Are you surprised they didn't move on that?
I am, but at the same time, they are well stocked in wide areas. They're well stocked through the middle. Gabby Jesus has just come back, started scoring. They've got Kai Havertz on the verge of coming back. So there's another 2 attackers where arguably they could get in the starting 11. So I'm not totally surprised, because there's just no room for him. Maybe if they sold one and got him in, I believe they could have done that. Possibly Trossard, maybe. There was links last year with Trossard. He ended up staying.
I mean, arguably there's no room for him at City, but Pep's stockpiling him as well.
yeah, I agree. I think the difference is Arsenal's wingers are contributing a lot of goals. To take someone out, Saka plays no matter what. Obviously, Gyökeres they've spent big money on, so he normally plays. It's just the left-hand side, and Martinelli and Trossard have rotated. That's probably the side where if anywhere, I would see Semenyo. But at the same time, Martinelli's young, he's improving all the time. Trossard gets really important goals. Important goals.
I was going to say, Trossard's had a great season this year. You've got Eberechi there as well, who can play out on the left, that they spent quite a lot in. Dan was going to ask you, being in a changing room during a transfer window, a team that's doing so well, top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League, is there a risk that if you do bring someone in, it could just disturb things a little bit?
Yeah, there is that. I think if Semenyo did go to, say, an Arsenal, I think that the two guys on the left would be a little bit concerned and think, oh, where's my game time coming? So it can upset it a little bit. So I don't see Arsenal moving for Semenyo, to be honest. I think in another window, in maybe the summer possibly, would have more time to sort the squad out. But at this moment in time, and the other caveat is people don't want to leave Arsenal right now.
Yeah.
They're on the verge of winning the Premier League for the first time in 15, 20 years. So, why would you want to leave when you're playing a big part in the squad?
And it's hard to argue against what we just mentioned there, this Arsenal squad being the strongest in Premier League history. I mean, look, the Invincibles were incredible, but as a squad and as a group of players and 2 and 3 in every position now, James, but where if they did look to strengthen, and we've heard this phrase twice over the last 5 minutes, this unique opportunity, positionally, where would they be weakest in looking?
Well, look, unique opportunities come and go. You know, look, these clubs have plans throughout. They have plans for a year, 2 years, 3 years in advance. If a player that they're looking at maybe getting in the summer all of a sudden comes available in January and they think they can steal a march on one of their rivals, then they could potentially jump and do it. Arsenal are in that position to do that if they need to. If you talk about Arsenal's weak, look, it's very difficult to see a weakness in that squad. It is the deepest squad I've ever seen at Arsenal, ever. They've got replacements in every single position, players that Mikel Arteta now trusts, which was an issue previous seasons where he didn't trust those players to come in, hence why he had such a tight group to play so many minutes and so many games, led to a lot of injuries. I think the back line with obviously Mosquera's injury maybe leaves them maybe a little bit vulnerable at times, but still we've seen them cope without Gabriel, without Saliba. Ben White didn't play much, then he's come in. Timber's missed a couple of games. Calafiori's out, but you got Lewis Skelly still there. You feel like with this Arsenal side, there are still 2 players in every single position, and they're not just like a squad player. They are 2 players that you feel could play for a lot of Premier League sides and do a wonderful job as well.
I know James is answering this, but just finally on Arsenal, on City, on Semenyo, on the title race, does the Semenyo signing, which looks like it's imminent for City, give them the advantage, do you think, in the title race, Dan?
I think it's going to go down to the wire. I think it's going to be really close. I see it as a 2-horse race. Villa are doing fantastic, and that they could add as well with a couple departing. But I don't see them lasting. I think you could see the gulf in quality the other night when Arsenal played them. I think they overran them in the end. After Villa's strong start, they could have went 1 or 2 up, to be honest. But in the end, I think that the quality's shown. Semenyo gives Man City more goals.
Thank you very much. We're just making sure that he's all set up and ready to go. Declan, can you hear us?
Wait, say that again because I lost the connection.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us loud and clear?
I can hear you now.
All working. We're just saying congratulations on the victory, first of all, but also for you. We know that very famously you've scored 2 goals in a Champions League game before this, but you've never scored 2 goals in a Premier League game before today.
Yeah, that's a crazy stat. I hadn't scored a lot this season, to be honest with you. I'd only scored 2. So to grab a brace today and an important victory was a really nice feeling. You know, when you win and you're able to help out the team like I did today, it always has that extra bit of a special feeling. So, yeah, I'm delighted with the goals and obviously more importantly 3 points because they're a really good side, Bournemouth, especially here.
Yeah, and they're always important games, particularly when you get to this stage of the season, when you are chasing a Premier League title. But this one coming off the back of the win against Villa, who are one of your direct competitors. You know, Manchester City dropped points against Sunderland. It just feels like it was a significant one in terms of timing as much as anything.
Yeah, massive. Obviously, off the back of Aston Villa, I think the key thing today was to build on that and to go and win. You know, the win against Villa would have meant nothing if we come here today and didn't pick up anything. But it's so important this time of the year. The schedule's crazy. The fixtures come thick and fast. And, you know, if you can win your games in and around Christmas, on top of what we've done already, it's going to put us in a really good position. So we've got to keep building on that, keep the mentality right, keep pushing. But we're in a really good spot at the minute, and long may that continue.
Hi, Dick. Paul Merson here.
You're right.
You're right, mate. I was just going to say,
all good.
What did Mikel Arteta say at half-time? Because I thought first half, their midfield were all over you like a rash first half. Didn't really have time to get your heads up. A couple more times they intercepted, got you moved, you know. And I thought Arsenal as an Arsenal team give the ball away a lot more than they usually do. Second half, you sort of overpowered them. Was there anything that he said that sort of changed that, where you had to drop off or, you know, push on? Or
Yeah, no, I think in the first half, I think we was doing the things they wanted. You know, we kept playing the ball to our left side and they kept trapping us. As soon as we made that one pass over to Gabriel, they all swarmed in on us and, you know, we made us either go back to David or kick it long. And like you said, it did feel like that on the pitch. It felt like they were swarmed all over us in the first half. But, you know, we're a team at second half. Once we get in there at half time and the manager speaks and we speak between each other, we knew we had the quality and we knew the space was there to go on and win the game. And we've done that a lot this season. So, you know, credit to everyone to go out there and perform how we did second half, because that wasn't easy today.
Declan, Jamie Redknapp, congratulations, mate. Hopefully you've got a screen in front of you now. I want to talk about your 2 goals. As Kelly rightly says, very, very important ones. Let's talk through the first one. Obviously, a great finish from yourself.
We're only 2 tap-ins, I think. I think, yeah, look there, like, it's just important. Look, there's big space, Victor's holding him off. And Martin, he was going to shoot, but he heard me shout. And obviously, if you keep the ball low, you've always got a chance, especially on the outside of the box. It's hard for the keepers to get down. So, you know, that was a nice one to score, because I've not scored many from outside the box this season.
Yeah, it's a really good finish. It's just about, what do you see when you see it from this angle here, that you're just obviously trying to squeeze it into that corner because all the players are rushing over to their right?
Yeah, and you see the keeper, when the Martin's got the ball, he's on that side of the goal, and then when Martin passed it back to me, he's naturally going to move to the right. So I knew it was going to be hard for him to then make the step back down low once he'd come back across. So I think that was an important